Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pot After Dark. I am Jeff, and behind every good man is a woman. And that woman was Martha Washington, man. And every day George would come home, she would have a big fat bowl waiting for him, man. When he come in the door, man, she was a hip lady. And joining me on the other end of the internet, my cuz host.
I'm Leslie, and I'm just trying to be honest about being a misanthrope.
It's good. It's a good thing to be honest about up front. The earlier
Yeah.
you realize that, the better. This week, Cheesemeisters, we are talking about Dazed and Confused. Yay. The 1993 It'd Be a Lot Cooler If You Did masterpiece, written and directed by Richard Linklater, starring, dear God, who wasn't it starring? Jason London, Wiley Wiggins, Matthew McConaughey, Rory Cochrane, Joey Lauren Adams, Mila Jovovich, Sean Andrews, Adam Goldberg, Anthony Rapp, Ben Affleck, Parker fucking Posey. I mean, it had this had everything. We are watching this in conjunction with season 3, episode 29, Commencement Part 1. In part because in the commencement episode, they play Schools Out for Summer on the last day of school, and it's set on the last day of school, and this is the last day of school, so it does this. Our spelling connection is Nikki Taft, who played Clint. He was in an episode of Fantasy Island. So I'm a fucking pothead, talking with my friends.
I came here to do two things, and I already forgot the line. Damn it!
Kick some ass.
Fight and drink beer.
And I'm almost.
Oh, kick some ass and drink beer. Almost. And I'm out of beer.
That's right. Rowdy Piper was in a movie Rowdy Piper is a wrestler from the 80s.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everybody else knows that. But he was, I don't.
Nobody else knows that, Jeff.
Factually incorrect on your part. Anyhow, he was in a movie that I don't remember is a really bad movie in the 80s, and he did a version of that line that was, I only did two things. I only came here to do two things. Chew some bubble gum and kick some ass, and I'm almost out of bubble gum. So I like the bubble gum part of it is kind of fun. Clint is not chewing bubble gum.
No.
Unless that bubble gum is laced with PCP or something, because Clint is not just on weed and beer.
No, he is not.
Edict!
That's some fentanyl lace shit.
That is the most certain I've ever been of anything. I feel about that the way that Walter feels about the Big Lebowski's ability to walk. Like, I've never been more certain of anything in my life, dude. Clint is not just on some reefer. So, this was your first time seeing Dazed and Confused. And
yeah,
it was very much not my first time seeing Dazed and Confused. I'm so happy you loved it. Tell everybody how much you loved this.
Cheesemeisters, I fucking loved it. Like, I was swept in immediately. I'm trying to text you less during movies, but I think within the first 10 minutes, I was like, I couldn't help it. I thought, how can I be nostalgic for a time I didn't experience?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, yes, I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, that is 100% the feeling of this movie. And I realized that about this movie years ago, that it makes me nostalgic for a time I didn't live in. Mm-hmm. And I thought, there should probably be a word for that. And wouldn't you know what, Cheesemeisters, there is? I looked it up. It is a word. It's a term called anemoia. Anemoia. I looked up how to pronounce it. Now I've forgotten because it was 10 minutes ago. So anemoia. Let's go with that. All right. It is exactly that. It is nostalgia for a time period you did not live in. So it's not actually nostalgia, but it is certainly nostalgia adjacent. And here's what I want to know about your feeling of anemoia, about that aspect of this movie. Because I have a guess that your your nostalgic feeling in this movie is maybe different than mine. Like it's maybe based in something different. And so I'm
Maybe.
just a guess. So here's what I think yours is. Tell me if I'm wrong. And then I'll tell you what mine is. You feel a nostalgia for this because it harkens back to a simpler time, a time before all of the modern day horseshit, where it just
Yes.
feels it's you look at this the way that shitty Republicans look at the 1950s.
Oh God, don't compare me to them.
Sorry.
I thought of that, but here's the thing. Because I'm going to combat that. Like, yes, I absolutely was watching this like, man, these are some good times,
Mm-hmm.
some simpler times. I miss something like this. But I was also watching it, and I think, because I think you're supposed to feel that, but then I think you're supposed to also recognize there's some messed up stuff happening too.
Mm.
And getting to watch this for the first time in 2025, I see stuff happening there, and I'm like, I'm glad they were able to deal with abuse in this way, and yet I'm also proud of my generation for looking at that and going, yeah, fuck that. We're not dealing with that.
Right.
You know?
So I don't think that when they made this movie, and this movie came out in 1993, it came out the year our West Bevs are graduating. So
Wow.
I was a junior in high school. I was this age when this movie came out. Um, and this was not intentionally, I think, pointing out how messed up things used to be.
Sure.
I do think it was. I do think it didn't really think the hazing was all that good. Like I thought that it was looking back on the hazing as like this is a little fucked up. But
Yeah.
the beer and the weed and the driving around and the music and the party at the Moon Tower and the hanging at the Emporium and it's a shame that his party got busted and all of that stuff. That's not supposed to be like we see the problems here. Not in 1993,
That's,
for sure.
well,
Not in 1993, but I see it now. I see how someone watching it now might feel it that way. But
but see, that stuff didn't bother me.
good.
Like, because they're being kids
Mm-hmm.
and they were together and they showed that, like, yeah, you can get up to some no good nonsense
Mm-hmm.
um, and not hurt them yourselves, hurt each other. You know, like, I don't think it romanticized it, but I also don't think it was pointing out, and I think it was just like, this is how it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very matter of fact lens
Mm-hmm.
with some slight rosiness here and there. Because, I mean, this is what he grew up in, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean he's definitely from Texas, and this is definitely set in Texas. Um, Here's what it is for me. This feels exactly like my high school experience, except for all of the details are wrong.
Okay.
Like I was in high school in 1993, not in 1976. So, but and I didn't have the hazing. I was not someone who drank or smoked weed in high school. I only occasionally went to parties out in a big field, largely because it made me sneeze, as previously discussed.
Yep.
Drove around some, like that was part of what we did.
Yeah.
But it was more mall based culture than it was Texas car based culture. My high school experience was way more like mall rats than it was American graffiti. Right? It's just that's the similarities are more that direction. But every part of what happens in this movie feels like home.
Yeah.
It feels grounded in my reality, even though my reality differed in like 85 different ways from the reality of this movie. And that's where my anemoia is. It's it's not that it feels like a simpler time. It's that it feels exactly like my lived experience, but different.
I feel somewhat similar to you two in that, you know, we did drive around. I mean, we were up in the knobs,
Right.
so it took us a lot longer to drive to each other's houses
Sure.
than, say, down in Clarksville. Um, you know, we listened to the classic rock station, so music that would have been popular from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really surprised none of us on our movie nights ever watched this movie. I don't know how it
Yeah.
never came up.
Yeah. How you missed it.
Um, maybe because we were snobby goody two shoes and we're like we won't like that movie. My god, if I could go back and shake young, actually no, I found this movie when I needed to. I would have loved it sooner, but this was a
Mhm.
great week
Yeah.
to see it for the first time.
I
um
saw this with other high school students, but I don't think I saw it until after I graduated in '94. So I didn't see. I know I didn't see it in the theaters. I remember where I saw it and some of the people I was there with. But it was a VHS tape movie night kind of thing. We're
nice.
putting this in. Trust me, you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Wooderson. He's the coolest guy in the world. Like
Oh lord.
he just is, though. And we'll talk more about Wooderson. We have,
Sure.
but for all of his whatever,
He has an air of cool.
there's something like all right, we're almost to Wooderson, but I did want to make one more point about this nostalgia for something that you don't experience. Um, this movie is incredibly specifically 1976. From the dress to the music, which is fucking great, to the cars, to the attitude, to the make sure you eat a green thing every day. You know, like the advice that the guy's giving the pregnant lady while she's smoking a cigarette and buying booze.
See you tomorrow.
That's right. You're 18, right? Yeah,
uh
graduated.
even even yeah, even more indicative of 1976. Hey everyone, when you're celebrating the bicentennial this summer, remember that we're celebrating white male slave owners who didn't want to pay their taxes.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Love her. Oh my
Well,
god.
sure, but I mean, but that lady, that 25-year-old teacher in 1976 is exactly that chick who was at Woodstock. Like she is
Oh
that
yeah.
woman, But the thing that I think is so fascinating about how specifically 1976 is that it's the specificity that makes it universal. Like
Mm.
it feels like exactly this moment in time. And because it does, and you feel the experiences of these kids on the last day of school in that year, it feels like the last day of school in every school year. If it was generic, it wouldn't work. But because it's exactly this, and it feels right. And you recognize all of it.
Yeah. That this is going to seem like a stretch to you, but hang on.
Okay.
That feels to me why I need Mean Girls to stay in the year it was originally
No,
made.
same thing. Same thing.
Because that felt nostalgic to me.
Mm-hmm.
What they did with the movie musical, keeping it universally in the present, I'm like, no, you
Yeah.
lost me. You've lost me. I don't.
I think that you can take a story that is universal and move it around in time to make it elucidate a point that you want it to.
Sure.
You can do that with Shakespeare all day long.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it with, I don't know, when was a Shakespeare thing written? What century are we talking about? 1600s?
16s.
Okay, so you couldn't do Two Gentlemen of Verona, deep cut Shakespeare there, set in 1653, and then 2 years later, uh, or then set it in 1673. You couldn't do it. It doesn't make any sense. It's not different enough. It makes it feel untrue.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's centuries involved here, and you can take the themes of the story and fit them to a specific, put them in the 1700s. You can, do it at two gentlemen of, I don't know, Richmond, Virginia in 19 or 17
Oh God. Yeah.
1768 or whatever. You could make it. I don't know what Two Gentlemen of Rome is about. I just picked that one. But you could take it and put it in different eras, different centuries, different decades. Is not enough space, I don't think.
It's not.
It just makes it feel weird instead of timeless.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
it doesn't feel timeless. It feels universal.
Mm.
That because it's very much 1976, but it feels like 1994 to me.
Yeah.
Because emotionally this is where you are, right? You're either the kids going into high school who are feeling like this desire to be older, this desire to be accepted, this willingness to try shit, and you're looking up to people who are just a little bit older than you, but clearly seem like they've got some shit figured out, at least compared to you.
Mm-hmm.
They can drive, they're smoking, they're drinking, they're making
Talking
out.
to girls.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Tell her that. Ask her to give you a ride home. Tell her we left you. Trust me, it'll work.
I know.
You're either that kid or you're the kids going into the senior year of high school where the number one priority of the summer is getting the Aerosmith tickets. That's what's really important. But there's also this fucking piece of paper that I've got, this not drinking pledge that people keep giving me. Why? I don't want that. And why are people telling me that I have to have one group of friends? Why is that group of friends bad for me, but this group of friends who are doing exactly the same shit at the same party, good for me? Why are you trying to tell me these things? Let me make my own decisions. Let me grow and be an adult, but also do really stupid shit in the safety of knowing I can do this and I'm still going to be okay. Those things are timeless for people in high school. And I watched this movie with Liam. He'd never seen it before. And he watched it. And at the end he was like, I liked that, but I didn't understand the plot. And I was like, that's because there isn't a plot.
Yeah.
There's no plot. This is not an A to B to C story. This is a bunch of kids having a night.
My favorite kind of movie.
It's great. The only reason it ends is the sun comes up.
Yeah, I love it. I didn't even think of it as not having a plot because I was entertained the whole time. I was captivated the whole time. I felt like I was watching old friends or something.
Mm-hmm. The closest this thing gets to a plot is Pink going to sign that piece of paper? And I mean, that is a wispy tendril at best.
Yeah.
That's not even a thread to pull. It's just that he's irritated about it at the end, and when Wooderson goes to get his rolling papers, he finds it in his glove box. You're the third person who's given me this today.
Yep.
So that's plot-ish. It's not is O'Banion gonna get a comeuppance for paddling people? To which I say, hate that jerk.
Okay. Silly thing I did earlier on one of my long breaks today.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking up on BuzzFeed anything about Dazed and Confused, because why not?
Oh, there's got to be something.
And I took one of those silly quizzes, and it wasn't even the kind of quiz where you're gonna get like which character are you?
Okay.
What song are you from the movie? Whatever. It was like pick a bunch of ice cream. We'll give you a GIF from Dazed and Confused. And I went, sure, why not?
Fair.
And I almost sent you the photo because it was hilarious that what I got was.
Yep. Yeah. It is that gesture. Mitch's eye nose bridge grabbing gesture that he does it like 6 times in one scene.
In one scene.
And he never does it again. But that one
No.
scene.
And I told you, and I believe this with my full heart, that must have been a tough scene for him. Something, because I keep noticing performers' nervous tics for some reason lately.
Gil Meyer's hand acting.
Like, it's astonishing to me. If you watched the Oscars this last week, it's crazy. The people from various points in their career, everyone had some wild nervous tic. And I thought, when did, like, I'm sure people have always been nervous to perform at the Oscars. I would be. Like,
Yeah.
You rehearse. You know everyone's going to be there.
Right.
So it's crazy to me. I mean, obviously they exist. I don't know where I was going with it necessarily, but I was thinking on the way home, like, if I had been directing, what can you do in that moment? Because you don't want to call it out, because then you're self-conscious about it.
Right.
And then you're just going to find something else for your hands to do. Like, it's a joke for a reason. Like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
What do I do with these things every single day when I'm not performing?
Yeah. My take on it is that was the first thing they shot, and this was the first movie he was in. That's my take. I'm guessing.
Well,
and then
definitely
after
his first movie.
Yeah. And then
his first movie.
After he got over whatever that was, he settled in. Because he's not bad in this movie. He's really good. It's just that one scene with the fucking nose that, God, I hate that jerk.
I know.
I mean, I get it.
The best thing I could come up with was like, can you find another way of showing your frustration here? Let's look at other ways to show what you are experiencing. Like, or I've done singing workshops where they're like, okay, sing through that again. You can't move your hands.
Yeah. Yep.
That way, then you figure out where your instincts to move actually are.
Right.
But again, he's a kid, and like, it works.
Yeah. It's just that scene is, I mean, there's a reason you got that GIF. Because that is a scene that everyone notices and goes, why are you doing that all the time, Mitch?
Oh, I'm glad it's not just me then. I feel like such a jerk sometimes.
No, the first time I saw this movie.
And to clarify, like, people can have nervous tics. I don't mind that. My problem is, why can't I be up there with my nervous tics too?
You can be. Just to, God, I hate that jerk.
Someone's going to make a compilation one day of all the things I do on here. If they're that bored.
If they're that committed.
I dare you.
Yeah, do it. Okay. So I think the way to maybe get into this is how many actors this was their first role.
Oh my God.
Or their first like break. Like this is for Ben Affleck. This is his first big thing, you know? And he's so good in it that it was really hard for him to get parts where he wasn't a dick. Like he was typecast as the asshole. You know, even Kevin Smith didn't use him like that all the time. But I mean, in Mallrats, he's a real asshole.
That's why he's so tired now.
Yeah. And so, yeah, exactly. Joey Lauren Adams, I think this might have been her first thing, or real close to it. Like this is before Mallrats.
Oh, yeah.
It's before Chasing Amy. Mila Jovovich, I think this might have been her first thing or real close to it. Adam Goldberg, I think Anthony Rapp had probably done stage work. I don't know how much movie stuff he had done.
I don't know either. Um, I feel like he was mostly a theater kid for a while, but it was wild. I did not
This would
expect to
have
see him
been
in this movie.
this would have been like right before Rent, right?
It,
I mean,
let's
Rent
see,
was what
90.
Rent was
Yeah,
94, I think, and this was
my God.
yeah. So it's probably like the last thing he did before Rent. And Parker Posey. I mean, so many people, so many amazing people burst into our consciousness in this movie. And the one who steals the fucking show, all right, all right, all right.
How?
So fucking good. Wooderson is the best. Like that character is fully formed and arrives on the scene in that car and those three words. And you know who this guy is. Like he's the ex-jock who never left his small town. Still when the cops kick him out of the football field, is like, you're just jealous because I beat you for all county. Because the cop is a kid he played football against. Like he every night he's out there, especially every weekend night, he's out there driving, he's drinking, he's smoking weed, and he's hanging out with the high school kids. Because everyone that is his age is way more mature than he is. And he
And
doesn't.
he wants high school girls.
That's right. That's what I like about them high school girls. I get older, they stay the same age. Yes, they do.
Sicko.
Yes, they do. But he's like, he is a propulsive force in a movie that goes nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Like he drives a lot of he doesn't show up until they're done with the paddling. Like
Yeah.
he shows up that night. So all of the chasing and the paddling and the fry, you freshmen, bitches, you freshmen, prick teases. The way she emphasizes that word is hilarious to me. She puts a lot of stank on prick teases. But
She
all
was
of
doing the gum thing too. All right, freshman.
you love me. Wipe that face off your head.
You're dead, freshman. I'm going to make this next year hell for you.
Air raid freshman.
She's so drunk. She's not going to remember it. Like, I wasn't even worried for her. I went,
Nah.
You'll forget.
Yeah, but God, I mean, Parker Posey's a fucking treasure in this movie. She's so funny.
When she's dancing to Fox on the Run, and then Simone comes over and trips, like, and then she just falls down with her. I loved that. That was so beautiful.
It felt like Simone fell down and Parker Posey did not know she was going to.
Yeah.
And like that was just a straight real reaction to what happened there. But there's something about Wooderson that is, because you know he's gross. You know, like you know that all of this is kind of slimy. But you don't care at all. Like it's weird that he's hitting on I like redheads. You know, like the
Red looks good on you.
red looks good on you. You should drop those losers and get in here with me, but we'll deal with that later. But like Wooderson is like he's hitting on the redhead. He's talking to the football players. He's driving around with Slater and Pink, and Mitch in the back seat. Be a lot cooler if you did. And it's his idea for the beer bust at the Moon Tower. So you don't.
we get a party thanks to him,
Uh-huh.
because all these kids are driving around like, well, we were gonna have a party tonight, but now we're not. Well, not all of us can go to the Emporium. What are we gonna do?
Right.
He gives them a party. He gives us a reason to have all of these characters together.
Yeah, he brings the whole thing together. And again, it doesn't go anywhere. It goes up the moon tower and it goes to the keg. Like that's pretty much it. But so yeah,
Yeah.
without the gel that is the one guy in the movie that you don't want to grow up to be like. Like without him, the movie it doesn't work. I don't think. Even though every performance is great and all of these kids
Yeah.
and the groups and the way they interact and the hazing thing, all of it's great. It doesn't work without Wooderson.
And but man, oh man, see, it's easier. I don't know how it's easier for you to say it, but it's so uncomfortable for me to even to laugh at it, to acknowledge it, because but again, and I don't know if I've said it on here, but I say it all the time. There are levels to these things
Sure.
that we react very strongly to now.
Yeah, sure.
We come at things with the level of 100 right away, and I'm like, okay,
Right.
love the attention we're now giving these things, and yet at the same time, not everything is 100. You know,
Not everything is the same.
and, yeah, not everything is the same. Like, obviously, yeah, he's a creep. The guys are the ones making jokes about it the most, that he is a creep.
Right. Yeah.
But they don't do anything more about it.
Right.
And
Wooderson, you're going to end up in jail in a couple years.
yeah, and I mean, fortunately, this is not the movie where they want to tell that story further.
Right.
You know, he's the local creep. He is. Listen, if Me Too hadn't happened, it's a different level again, but that's more or less how people were behaving about Harvey Weinstein. They were joking about it
Sure.
to each other. Again, different level, very different level. Wooderson is not Harvey Weinstein, but he could grow into that if he's not careful and if people don't do something.
There's no chance because Wooderson could never gain that kind of power. Like he's a charisma bomb for sure. Like he can draw people together, but he doesn't have the motivation to run anything.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. And you know, again, there's me doing the thing I'm saying other people do, is like putting something at 100, and it's like, this is just supposed to be fun, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and again,
something can be fun and uncomfortable.
It's weird because Wooderson is very much not someone to look up to. You know,
yeah.
Like but, and the but is so fucking huge here. He delivers the ethos of the movie at the end. And the ethos is correct. Like, you don't want to be Wooderson. But if it's not that piece of paper, it's some other decision they're going to try to make for you.
Yeah.
You got to do what Randall Pink Floyd wants to do. You just got to keep living. Livin.
Yeah.
Like that's the movie. That's the whole. If this movie has a message, it is you just have to keep living.
Yeah.
It is, because that's all they're doing this night. They're not doing anything. There's no, like, you know, they're going out and trying to do the paddling, and Mitch is trying to, you know, and Hirschfelder's like, I almost got there, but he wouldn't have known what to do with it even if he did get there. So what is he worried about? Like, they're just kids out to do kid shit.
Yeah.
And this movie is like, yes, do that. Continue to do that. Just live. That's what the movie is. And you're delivered that sage wisdom from the guy who likes high school girls. You know, it's weird that he is the vessel for that, but it's also perfect. You know, like he's the dude. He's out there taking her easy for all of us sinners.
Yeah.
You know. By the way,
He's at least
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say again, like he could be so much worse. He's at least, he's got some sage wisdom there,
Mhm.
and you know, I did not get an attack vibe from him, which is
Right.
all I care about. Like,
Yeah, I will say there's one. I don't know if you've probably not, because like why would you care prior to this week? But um, I can't remember which of them I heard tell this story, but it was either Jeff Bridges or Matthew McConaughey talking about how they met each other and how they are both so intensely identified with these characters, these slacker character guys, and how deeply each of them has embraced it.
oh
Like,
wow,
if you get McConaughey on stage anywhere, he is gonna say, "All right, all right, all right." Like, because he's that guy. He's like, he understands that's what you want from him, but also he's kind of that laid back guy. And Jeff
yeah,
Bridges is the dude. In real
yeah,
life now, he probably wasn't in Last Picture Show. That guy wasn't the dude. But by the
yeah,
time he played the dude, and since that day, he's been the dude. And so people he will well, that's just like your opinion, man. Like he will quote the dude to people in interviews, or if somebody brings like, and the two of them totally vibe on each other because they are both that. And they're like, yeah, I love it. So do I.
watch the leather man.
The leather man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not bad roles to be,
Uh-huh.
stuck with.
Yeah. Yeah. You could be the guy who played Buffalo Bill in uh Silence of the Lambs. Be stuck with that for your whole life.
I'm so glad I have no idea.
Oh wait, was she a great big fat person?
Oh
Um
God.
that's my favorite line of that whole movie. Um I don't think he would. It's not a horror movie, but it is. It's tense. It is a
It's not for me.
yeah, but man, is it a good movie. Anyway,
Also, I know there's a dog in it now, and I don't think anything happens to that dog, but it's super cute, and I'm like, don't you try to trick me into this. I'm not falling into that pit.
yeah, but you know what? Yeah, she needed that dog, um, to maybe save her life. So, um, neither here nor there. But I don't know. I just literally the first time I watched this, someone said that, oh, there's Wooderson. He is the coolest guy alive. And you know they
Oh
don't
God.
mean it. You know they don't
Yeah.
mean it, but also they kind of mean it. Because like that's his personality. His personality is coolest guy alive.
Yeah. Well, I'm torn. I'm not comfortable saying yay or nay on Wooderson. It's like, because I've dealt with that human being, and I've dealt with that human being multiple times, and on some, like, depending on how long I've known them, I've either been fine and dealt with them, or I've reported them.
Sure.
Just being honest.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Um I don't know. There's just I mean we watched this, and shouts to Kendrick, because we're watching this, and he gives the high school girls line, and Liam goes, "Is he a pedo?" And I'm like, well, probably.
Yeah.
Like, we don't ever see him doing anything, but probably. Um, so yeah, so that's a word that everybody knows now. Um, also,
I would hope they know pedophile before
no, but
Kendrick.
no, but pedo, like the specifics of the pedo thing has become a lot of that. But that shouts to Conan, by the way, during the Oscar broadcast for. We're halfway through the show, and this is the point where Kendrick comes out and calls Drake a pedophile.
Yeah.
That that was a really funny joke. Good job,
Conan was like,
Conan.
I don't have to censor myself.
Nope, that was really funny. Nice job, Conan. What Conan needs is for us to tell him that he's funny. He wouldn't know it otherwise if it wasn't us out here.
I
Just
love Conan.
I do.
That wasn't my favorite performance, but I love him.
I thought he was having a lot of fun with that, and I liked it quite a bit.
And that's all that matters. You have fun. If
Mhm.
it's not my favorite, that's fine.
Yep.
Listen, he doesn't need my opinion. He will never know me.
No, well, you never know,
Sadly.
but it'd be a lot cooler if he did.
Oh boy.
Um, we also haven't the first if it's not Slater or if it's not Wooderson that steals this movie, it's Slater because he's hilarious every scene he's in, and it's some of it is not even the stuff that he says. It's just the way he holds himself and carries himself. Like the when we first meet him in the hallway, and he turns and he's like, and he just sort of walks off. Like it's just, or when he's sitting in the car with Wooderson and he looks over, he's like, "I know you. Remember me? Second period gym class." Like
He's always doing that. Hey, we have biology.
that's right, yeah. Or when this might be my favorite line of the whole movie, and it's so totally the way he delivers it. Is when he's talking to Mitch and they're gonna go, he's like, "Are you cool, man?" And Mitch is like how? And he goes, "Okay." It just walks off. It is so funny. Just that breathy, okay. Like, okay. Um, he's just hilarious. Yeah, he is. He's the platonic ideal of stoner. Like, there's lots of movie stoners, right? There's Cheech and Chong, there's uh, Jay and Silent Bob, there's Spicoli. Like, there's generation upon generation of stoner. Slater's kind of stoner is my favorite. Like,
Yeah.
he's so baked and he's so calm and just having a nice time and walking around talking to people and I I got shotgun or you can
Let's
have
go
but I'm
smoke a
you can
joint
right
on the
50 yard,
50
you know what
yard line.
you sign you roll it, you sign the paper, you sign the joint, man, you smoke the joint. Like, I mean, yeah, that'll really show him something, man. um he's just he's fucking delightful. He just everything he
Yeah.
does tickles me. Um and I I didn't see him do anything else until he was in CSI Miami, and I just wanted him to be Slater again. And
You
I'm
know what
sure
I
that's
just
not what he
realized?
wants in life, but
The way I would get an Oscar is if I played a stoner, because I feel like that would be such a fun challenge and so not what I would be cast in.
yeah,
But I want to put that out there because boy, oh boy, what a fun challenge that would be. Like,
that would be good.
because we always think about like, oh, playing crazy, how you play crazy, that's fun. And, we can do that. No, I want to figure out how to play a stoner.
Hmm. And I mean, all of the movie stoners I mentioned are very different characters. You
Yeah.
know, like they all behave very differently. They're all very clearly stoned all the time, but they're just different stoners. And I think Slater is my favorite kind. So, at least in these movies, I don't know. He's just okay.
I know.
Fucking, I can't get over okay. It's just okay. That's the only. I'm sure that on the page it just said, "How do you mean Slater?" Okay, and
Yeah.
Rory Cochrane just did that shit, and it's fucking brilliant. Um, I had one other thought before we have adventures in intimacy, and it's the other thing that's at the heart of the movie. Um, it's the role of ritual and
Mm,
in this case hazing, um, as a way to acceptance and community.
yeah.
And because I mean, whatever Andrew Goldberg's name is, I want to dance.
Mike.
Mike, when he's like, or he and Anthony Rapp are talking, and they're like, it's crazy that not only does the town accept this kind of behavior, but apparently it's sanctioned. They probably had to get permission to use the school parking lot. Like, this is this community.
Yeah.
And the way that kids are transitioned from grade school into high school is these hazing rituals, and they're part of the community. They're horrible, like the
Yeah.
fucking paddles and the, I don't know. There's something about like going through a car wash in the back of a pickup truck that seems kind of funny to me, but the rest of what they do to those girls is horrible.
Listen, not to jump in or anything, but that
No.
was aftercare. That, this movie
Yeah.
was kinky as shit. And that was some aftercare right there. I was like, oh, that's nice. Because I was thinking, oh my God, my mom would have been pissed. Like, what the hell happened to you? You
Right.
agreed to do what?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
How'd you
Well,
let this happen to you?
it's also how you turn it from torture into now you're in. It's that, when she's like, hey, we're gonna, you want me to pick you up at about 8 o'clock, we're just gonna drive around. And
Yeah.
when Pink was like, we had really cool seniors, they bust your ass but then they take you out and get you drunk, and then you sort of see him
Yeah.
realize, oh fuck, I need to do that now. Like, Mitch gets all the way out of the car before Pink invites him out
Yeah.
that night. And it's and you can kind of see Pink going, that thing that made it okay for me, I now have to offer that.
Yeah.
And he hadn't thought about that part of it probably until that second. Like, that's how it looked. And now Mitch
Yeah.
is accepted. And now he's
Yeah.
meeting older girls. And, seeing his classmates who are talking to the older guys, and he's at the same party as his sister. And, just don't tell her to take it easy on me. So this is how this community comes together.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that.
I did too. Like, it's really weird. It's another part of the film that I have conflicting feelings about because, you know, again, we hear the stories that are at 100 about hazing. We
Right.
don't hear about the things that are like 0 to 25 and how people thought, well, that was part of it. That's how we got accepted. That's how we got people to stay off our ass. You know,
Right. Yeah.
you dealt with it this one day.
Right. I mean, I am 100% anti-hazing. Don't fucking do hazing. But the rituals are important.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if your ritual did not involve the soul pole or the fuck you.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if
Yeah.
Banyan didn't get to fail to be an asshole 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. Like, we're not for hazing, it's the rituals, like you said. There are ways to do that without putting ketchup and mustard all over everyone.
Fry, bitches.
Oh boy.
And
So
then
many kinks in this
make
movie.
you have to go ask him to marry you.
Okay.
I knew there'd be one you really didn't like.
That was the moment I had flashbacks when when the guys to the first one, not Sabrina, But when they're asking her like, "Oh, what would you do?" and then having her like open her mouth and saying, "Do you spit or swallow?" and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Yep.
Like the things people would joke about around me because I had said some kind of innuendo, not even knowing, or then asking because it's so funny when someone is not in the know, and it's like, I'm a fucking teenager. I'm not
Mm.
supposed to know yet.
I will say that earlier today I was editing our episode on Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Uh,
Oh no.
during which you were talking about somebody eating food on camera, like right to your face, and you said, "I don't want that coming on my face."
Yep.
So here we are.
That's just my role in life. I am a clown. Yeah, but you want to be a clown. I don't want to be a clown.
I enjoy my clowniness.
Or I want to be more I want to be more in control of
How and
how
when you're a
I'm
clown?
seen. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I just choose all of the time, and
That's great.
it's way more fun. Um, all right. So, how many people out there you think are fucking right now? Let's have some adventures in intimacy.
Oh boy, we have a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, bear with me. We've already been talking a long time and it's going to be longer cuz again, there's so much with intimacy, but I'm going to start with the kink of it all.
Mm.
My god, the hazing, which I had read in a book somewhere, and this was actually about the making of the Wonder Woman comics.
Oh
And
yeah. Uh huh. That's a whole fucking thing.
that is a whole thing. People, if you don't know, look that up. Um, yeah. Well, and there's a scene in the movie. I think it's Professor Marston and his Wonder Woman, which I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, fine. Always make it the man, the center. Um, but they show the two women at some sorority hazing function and they point out like this is kind of kinky, and it's the same thing here because on the one end you've got paddling,
Mhm.
and then the other end, I mean, both of them technically involve humiliation, but
Mhm.
I would say the women's is definitely more humiliation based
Agreed.
because it's food play, it's get on your knees bitches,
Mhm.
it's they put fucking leashes on them, they put pacifiers in their mouth,
Mhm.
which
Air raid.
first time they put those pacifiers in their mouths I went, are they getting acid?
Wow.
I mistook. Listen, I saw 1976 and I immediately thought acid because of Almost Famous. My bad.
That's okay. You're forgiven.
Um, but yeah, and but as I'm watching it too, I'm thinking, at least on the women's side, it seems consensual.
Right. Yeah.
You
The
know,
girls aren't running. They're not chasing the other girls to put ketchup on them.
no, it's like the girls all know. I need to just maybe girls have a better understanding and you know what, actually I know this to be true, we're more okay with taking on pain and humiliation right away as opposed to i don't want I don't want Parker Posey coming for me the whole year
Right.
because she'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. She will.
um and the boys is definitely not consensual, it's not fun for them, it is. Oh my god, we see some tears.
Uh huh.
um Yeah. Oof. It was a lot, and the way they shot it too. You feel so bad.
Uh huh. And the music choice, the No More Mr. Nice Guy, like that's such a whoa, what a good needle drop that is. But I'm not getting ahead of us, but it's oof,
Yeah,
it's
and
good.
and same with during when the women are being humiliated. It's why can't we be
Mhm.
friends?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yep.
Going back a little bit, I loved when I think her name's Mrs. Stroud, Ms. Stroud. It's the 1976. She's probably Ms. Yes, the listen.
Yeah.
As someone who has not been a teacher at a high school, but been a substitute and been harassed by
Hmm.
teenage boys, that head tap was everything. I
So
was like,
good.
oh,
Yeah.
if only, but just
Mm-hmm.
Jeff's kiss.
Yeah.
Great. Let's see. Yeah, I have to note too with the paddling, like, again, we've got violent intimacy, non-consensual. You know, are they okay with it after the fact? Or at least Mitch, because he's like, well, okay, now hopefully they'll stay off my back,
Right.
literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna get him back
Uh-huh.
for my friends. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we have. I don't know how this happened at a middle school dance. I'll get to it. I want to talk about the middle school dance real quick because you know how people always joke about middle school dances, you be
Yeah.
at arm's length.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't.
No, no, no. There was no room for the Holy Spirit in there.
I have to say, I enjoyed the intimacy in this. It was so varied and different.
Mm-hmm.
Would an icy have been amazing? Yes, of course, always. But and one would have added that variety anyway. But I like that in this there was that natural variety, you know, and people weren't trying to do the jokey thing of like, oh, we can barely touch. Like some were like half touching and some were like right up close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the thing that
Makeup
made
room.
me laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that?
Everyone needs a place to make out, Leslie. Come on.
I know, but it's at a middle school dance.
No, I know.
Like, I'm spitting on myself. I'm
70s were a wild time. I don't know.
man, I wish they'd had that at my middle school dances. I would have had my first kiss way sooner. Oh my god.
It would have just been another room for me to feel uncomfortable in.
That's true. I would have been trying to like stand outside, like, ooh, maybe if someone sees me, he'll.
Right.
Oh no. Hi, Drew. Oh, you're going in with Ashley?
It's a shame. Yeah. That's okay. He wouldn't know what to do with it even if he did get there.
No. No. So yeah, that was hilarious to me and crazy. A lot of them, you know, we talked in another teen movie, not the actual another teen movie, but a different teen movie about how uh how much playful touch there is amongst teens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it was Grease because they're all like playfully hitting each other, and you see a lot of like ass taps in this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Or
You know,
like when Parker Posey comes up and grabs him in the ass by the...
full on, which I'm like, that feels like Parker Posey.
It does.
Like,
yeah.
and I like going, oh, I'm not gonna just like, oh, you all been getting away doing this to women. I'm doing it to the man now. Take that,
Right.
Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, I'm not gonna say whether or not I support it. You do you, honey.
Okay.
Different times. But yeah, a lot of and you know, he also kind of swats her back later on. There's a playfulness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, you know, there's a flirtatious nature to it later on when Cynthia is walking away after giving him her number and you're like, Aerosmith tomorrow. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the variety of ways in which you can tap someone's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy choreo. Whether or not it's planned. Oh, it's so funny, for as touchy-feely as teens can be, it's great when they're actually into each other and the way they'll stand inches apart and they won't look at each other.
Mm.
You know, they'll,
Yeah.
you know, it's talking next to the person. That's the intimacy. And like, that's something I want to note for in the future next time I'm doing something, because I think so much about like holding another person's gaze. But when you're a kid, you would not be comfortable doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I loved moments like that. I think Mitch and his girl have a scene. Actually, no, it's Mitch and Sabrina, even though they're not interested in each other, but still they're doing kind of the...
Because they're friends. They've known each other their whole lives. They've been in grade school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later on too with Anthony Rapp and Sabrina, that theirs is a bit more. There are a lot more pauses,
Yeah.
which indicate that they might be more into each other.
Mm-hmm.
As I was watching this, I think it was when they were in the woods at that party. I went, man, teens kiss so aggressively. Like I don't know. I wrote down in older movies, but I don't know if that's true. Maybe like in the 90s and the aughts, yeah. But also, I think I've said it on here. Like, if that's how they think people kiss, and if they're new to kissing and are eager to kiss more,
Mm-hmm.
hi, I was, then you probably are gonna kiss really aggressively. You don't know when you're gonna get to kiss again.
Right. I'm not stopping now. It's
Yeah,
years before this happens again.
yeah, and I think it was when Pink and Julie were making out, and like I was for that couple. And then they also have a moment later on too where like he was trying to go for more and then she pulled away.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like an odd groping moment, and like it's natural to the story of teens and whatever was about to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it was interesting still that it even was there at all because the shot kind of covers it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I don't know why this is really here. But it's there.
Yeah. I mean, I get it because like he's dating Joey Lauren Adams. Like
Yeah.
that's his girlfriend. But these two have been circling each other all day.
Mm-hmm.
And probably longer than all day. And they get out there and he's very much in the moment. And he's like, I got Russian hands and Roman fingers.
But what's great too is that wasn't aggressive. Like,
Right.
the hand was there, and like I think he did a thing where it almost looked like he was gonna like pull back her shirt a little, trying to look down. It was very
Oh,
subtle. Like, again, trying to give the hint of like, I'm curious and I want to do more. Fine. Okay. What
right.
girlfriend?
Right.
It was all very, very, again, like, while I didn't think it was shot, I don't want to criticize it. I don't know. It was both smooth and not smooth. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
it does. I think it's sort of on purpose though, because I think there needed to be something to show the difference between what they were both comfortable with and what very much wasn't on the table.
Yeah, I think I just wanted more of a medium shot.
Mm,
Like I just wanted to see more of them. I think you could have told that story just a bit more if we had seen like more of the waist up
mm-hmm.
and not just from like
Mid.
mid arm up.
Oh, I would have said mid boob.
You
Yeah.
know, sure.
Look, there are standard units of measure in this world, and one of them is mid boob.
Listen, when we're on set, we use deloaded language, and so that's just what I was implementing there. But
Oh,
sure, mid boob for the
mid boob. She was mid boob. About that high.
uh last two things, and they both concern first kisses.
Okay.
Um I think my favorite in this was between Tony and Sabrina.
Yeah.
I love that. They have, the quintessential being dropped off, it's at the door, the lights on, you're waiting a little minute, and like you do one quick kiss, and like that's probably going to be it, except they go in for another, and it was great. Like
Mm-hmm.
it seemed so natural, and um it seemed so natural and yet also so new for them. Like they didn't seem like they were people who were super experienced, which their characters don't read that way, so that
Right.
fits. Yeah, it was incredibly sweet. I loved it. Um and then there's
Before you move on from that one, can I just say, I hope you're not grounded. Thanks.
thanks.
It's the sweetest thing. Like that is such a high school like concern. You know, he was like, I hope you don't get in trouble for this. And she's like, hands behind her back. Thanks.
He is so he's so adorable.
Hmm.
I mean, they both are. They're both incredibly adorable, and yeah,
She's got she's got a Nikki vibe going.
yeah.
You know, so needless to say, I'm a fan.
And Mila Jovovich, I wanted more of those. Honestly, a lot of the women, I wanted more of their roles. They were so captivating,
Hmm.
and thankfully, I mean, you didn't look anywhere else when they were on screen.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy, would I've loved more. And we can get more
Well,
into that and what else.
okay, because yeah, there's
But
some what else with why Mila Jovovich isn't in this movie more.
I'm curious. Yeah, the one other thing I wanted to, the one last kiss I wanted to talk about. It's we don't get to see the first kiss, but it's clearly been hours later after the first kiss when there's the shot coming up over the car, and we
Uh
see
huh.
Mitch making a. Oh my
Yeah.
god! I mean,
Yep.
one, I was a little distracted by what the arms were doing and the way they were positioned. Like, I think you can still have that teen awkwardness and fix that,
Hmm.
but I still loved the moment because they got to watch the sun come up together and make
Hmm.
out. Like, oh my god, I wish I'd had that as a teen. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a is that it for intimacy? Because I have a good segue.
It is.
That is yet another point in this movie where the music is perfectly chosen for that scene.
Yeah.
Um, so like we're out here by the moon tower in Needle Drop Forest now, kids. Tuesday's Gone with the Wind as that shot comes up
Yeah.
over the that is a perfect song. School's out for summer when like the kids are throwing their books and jumping on and the kid slides down the slide out of the window. Perfect. Sweet Emotion over the opening credits with the are you how familiar are you with Aerosmith? I'm guessing not super familiar. Yeah.
Vaguely.
Sweet Emotions is one of their songs from the 70s, and it starts out with that like the fuzz pedal like voice box thing. Sweet. And like it just and then the drums crash in and it's just great for that. And um there's just and then the No More Mr. Nice Guy that we talked about earlier. Um and even low key, such a great song choice. Bob Dylan's Hurricane when they're entering the Emporium.
Yeah.
Like this soundtrack is not only just like this is Logan Roy special, nothing but bangers. It is great. Every song is great, but they are perfectly deployed.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't this movie doesn't work without this music. You know?
No, it reminded me of, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, they're great, but they're made even greater by the fact that the music is so lined up with the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie is it's kind of perfect for its use of music. And if it's Guardians is a really good example because you feel like they chose every song they chose was the perfect song. And they
Mm-hmm.
were also from the same basic generational playbook. I mean, those songs that are in the Guardians movies are basically late 70s soft rock.
Yeah.
And when that's a lot of what you get here, not all of it soft rock, but rock, is all the same era. And the music I think in Guardians 1 is so perfect that even though the music in Guardians 2 is also good, it feels less than.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to do that. And I think those two movies do it almost, I would say, probably without exception. I can't think of a false needle drop in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
agree.
It's super fun. It's what I think of as like late 70s rock. And there's a lot of other songs, a lot of stuff I love that's not in this. A lot of stuff that is in Guardians doesn't fit in this.
Yeah.
But man, these choices. Oh, good job, Richard.
So good.
Richard Linklater. All right, what else time? How many people's defining role is this?
Probably not as many
I
as we think.
mean,
Like, it's really maybe just Matthew McConaughey. It's definitely that Will. Oh my God, the kid who played Mitch. Exactly.
Wiley Wiggins, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Rory Cochran's defining role. Like
Is
whenever
that Slater?
that's Slater. Every time I see
Oh
him,
yeah.
even though he's like kind of a little rounder and bald, like he's still Slater.
When I looked him up, I was like, it's that guy.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
You men age like crazy.
I know, we're awesome. It's not Parker Posey's, but this archetype is like this is a Parker Posey performance. Like
Oh yeah.
if you needed to visualize a Parker Posey performance, this one is right there.
Yeah.
You know, all of the Chris Guest stuff for me is she's so good in.
Yeah.
And it could have been Affleck's, but to quote Jay, Affleck, you the bomb in Phantoms, yo. So yeah, Ben Affleck has been Affleck, but how much did you hate him in this movie? Because he's such a dick.
Oh my God, he's horrible.
Yeah.
He's so horrible. It's like, no Duncan for you.
No, none. Your brother can be the mayor of Duncan, kid. Not you. You're gonna get a vanilla nut tat.
Yep.
That's what's happening for you. What else did you have?
Oh man. I mean, just 70s nostalgia, high culture.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down good times, toxic traits.
Yep.
And like the whole when Pink is relating what his experience was like to Mitch, it's this we're tough, we're cool because we're tough and we went through the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Sure. It's when trading war stories was more about the like, hey, we got through that and we're okay, and less about like, I went through this.
Right.
How bad was it for you? Like, it's the oppression Olympics is too much for me now.
That's tough. Yeah.
Maybe it's just being in theater. I don't know. I would imagine it happens everywhere. But yeah, and I wrote down too, like, teens get a new poison each generation. Because
sure,
it's true. Like, we look at these things that they're doing, just being kids. And we're like, they're wrecking their lives and their brains. And it's like, they were going to do it anyway when we implemented child labor laws. You took away the thing that...
yeah.
Which... Yeah. We don't want them working. They're kids. They shouldn't be working. Like, they should get to have fun. They should get to make a mistake in a safe environment. Like, that's...
You have to be able to do that. That's what this movie's about.
Because it's going to become so much scarier to make a mistake when it is you and you alone responsible for it.
Yeah.
So, like...
That's why you got to do what Randall Pink Floyd wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just... It ain't that piece of paper. It's some other choice they're going to try to make for you.
And like, kids are going to do what kids are going to do.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's also kind of like Mitch gets home and his mom is like, she's happy he's home safe. She has an older daughter. She knows what this is. She's not overly concerned.
You're drunk.
That is the second greatest reaction in the movie. Is him and no.
And then putting music on, I was like,
Putting
that's
his
great.
headphones on. Yep, that kid's very drunk. Um, it's funny.
That kid's very drunk.
Very drunk. No matter what he tells you, Mom, he's drunk. Um, I want to recommend a book. There's a book called All Right, All Right, All Right by Melissa Mars, maybe Maerz. It's an oral history of Dazed and Confused. I got it off of Audible. I don't know,
Okay.
3-4 years ago. Uh, really enjoyed it. Like lots of interviews with the cast and Linkletter and so you get all of this stuff about the movie. And I wanted to mention it because you pointed out the Mila Jovovich of it all.
Yes.
So as I recall, and I'm going to get details of this wrong or whatever because it's been a few years, but as originally written, Pickford and Michelle were the central characters in the movie. Okay.
Wait.
So Mila Jovovich and Sean Andrews, the guy whose house the party was going to be at.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason that the beginning of the movie he plays a big role and then he vanishes. Yeah, both of them basically disappear, and it's because and I don't think this is all of it, but they kind of couldn't stop fucking each other. Like they were too into each other and their own ego
like the actors.
Trip. Yeah, the actors were too into like their own ego trip thing or whatever it was, and they were impossible to work with, and they were just always stuck together, is my memory of it. And they kind of rewrote the movie around Pink. Like, okay, well, this
That
is
sounds like the right choice then.
Yeah. But it is weird that Mila Jovovich, who is like, whoo boy, like you can't take your eyes off her the way you can't take your eyes off Kate Hudson in Almost Famous. Like she's got you. And then she just isn't in the movie anymore.
That's a shame for many reasons because I hadn't gotten to read that deeply into it. I just read that she had a bigger role and then a lot of it was cut and she wasn't told beforehand, which I've heard multiple stories of that kind of thing now, and I'm like, just fucking tell people.
Right.
Like, because you've got people trying to get other work, and if they've invited agents or other people, just family, to see them, and then all of a sudden, I mean...
Yeah.
And then you're not there?
They're going to just Brandon Walsh her off of Lydia Leeds' show.
Yeah. And, like, if that's true that they cut because of all the... Again, and I'm sorry if I'm coming off hot and lectury, but, like, that's just where I am right now, people. I'm sorry, but it's true. That's why you have a fucking person to choreograph the intimacy. Because that helps separate, like, hey, as your characters, you're gonna do this. As your characters.
Right.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Mila Jovovich and what's his name? They're not making out right now. It's the characters.
It's Pickford and Melissa, yeah.
What you two do on your own better not fucking come in here.
Yeah.
So, like, if that is what happened, then I'm like, well, that sounds like they needed to cut that then, which fucking sucks, but maybe we got a better movie for it. I don't know.
I feel like we got... I feel like maybe there was more of a plot if it's about those two and whatever happens after this party or whatever, but I don't want this movie to be a plot movie.
Fair.
You know, like this is a hang. And that's why
I love what the movie is.
Yeah,
so,
I do too.
I don't want it to... Yeah, I don't want it to be anything else. Again, I hate that for those actors.
Yeah. She did all right.
Right. Multipass.
Yeah. I like the characters that this movie is centered around.
Yeah.
It's centered around Pink and Mitch primarily, and then Wooderson and Slater just on the outsides of that. And those pieces moving around each other that also bring in uh, Giovanni Ribisi's sister. Do you realize that? The redhead, that's his sister?
Whose sister?
Giovanni Ribisi.
Wait,
Phoebe's
which
brother,
I'm blanking.
Giovanni Ribisi, you're blanking on who he is?
No, well, like, what character did he play?
He's not in this movie. His sister is.
Oh. Phoebe's brother. Oh my god. What?
Yeah, the redhead, that's his sister.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Cynthia, I think her name is. Let me not
Yes.
blaspheme. Make sure I look it up.
It's Cynthia. I looked it up.
Okay. Oh, the other familial connection in this movie. Benny, one
Oh,
of the
yeah.
football player guys. Benny, played by Cole Hauser, who is he's in one of the Taylor Sheridan shows. Like I think he plays a pretty large role in one of those shows. So he's having a
Mm.
moment, Cole Hauser. But where we're concerned is his father is one Wingshauser. And Wingshauser, Cheesemeisters, is fucking Jonesy. And you know what I'm talking about. Leslie doesn't know Jonesy yet, but we'll get there. Jonesy is some season 5 shit. So.
I thought of one random thing for what else because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. This moment was so funny to me. Well, just anytime, any random time people would light up or if they're looking at the flame, but then specifically, there's a guy during Mike and Clint's fight. He's being jostled and he's lighting
I am not following what happens here. I love it. I love how happy that you are.
it's so stupid, but I love that they caught it. I love that the actor committed because I don't know if he thought like this is a funny moment.
But what did he do? I couldn't even tell
He
what you.
was just he was fighting to light his cigarette as he's being
Oh,
jostled, and
that's
people are.
funny. That's funny. I couldn't. You laughed so hard, I had no idea what you were saying was going on in this scene.
I know. I'm sorry because it's just it is as funny to me. I'm gonna It is as funny to me as in Monty Python when they're yelling about the witch and there's a guy with shaving cream on his face.
Yeah, those weird ass little details in the back.
I know, it's stupid.
Here's what I'll say to that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is this the EST of for you?
This is the highest movie I've ever seen.
I think the dude's pretty high, but it's very high.
People were constantly smoking. The dude might be constantly stoned, but he's achieved a level of like, this is just who I am. Whereas they really seem constantly stoned.
Yeah, they were. Actively stoned in this movie. Yeah. I think this is just the best high school movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think it might be. Like, I think for a lot of people, generationally, it's kind of a 2-horse race. It's this and American Graffiti are the two that people lionize as high school movies. The John Hughes movies are sort of beloved and what they are, but this and American Graffiti are sort of more generationally defining, I think.
Interesting.
And I just think this movie's Laura doesn't like it that much. She was like she was happy that we didn't. She was like, I'm not gonna. She's seen it plenty of times, but and she thinks parts of it are funny and whatever. But I just think that she doesn't enjoy watching people do drugs all day long. It's just not her gig, not her bag. So she's wrong because it's funny as hell. But
I was gonna say I was watching them thinking like, this looks like the life to me. This
Yep.
looks great.
Yep. I mean, what I said to Laura when she says she doesn't like this movie, as I say, be a lot cooler if you did.
Yep.
So, uh, all right, Cheesemeisters. Once again, we have proven my theory that everything comes back to Aaron Spelling.
Even Dazed and Confused.
All right, all right, all right.
Right, all right.
So join us here next week, Cheesemeisters, when on Wednesday when we watch season 3, episode 30, commencement. Garçon me dadu. And then here again next Friday for I don't know what. What do we want to do? Because now you've seen it. I haven't watched it yet this week. I'm gonna do it tonight.
I don't know how to follow this.
Dazed and Confused. I know.
I don't know how. I don't know what to do now. Like again, I think other high school movies are going to be ruined for me now. I'm like, oh my
I
god.
wonder if there's something. Is there something with the Hollywood sign, like a movie that prominently features the Hollywood sign in some way?
Well, King Kong doesn't climb it.
No, wrong city. I don't know. There was just a thought. It may not be that. I don't know. We'll figure something out, Cheesemeisters. Whatever it is, it's gonna be fucking awesome because we're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
High five to me. So until then, Cheesemeisters. Cheers.
Cheers. I want to dance.